Hello, everybody, and welcome into the WSSEA 2025 fall season. We're already into week 3 for some exciting Valorant action. And as always, my handsome friend D'Lo back in the booth with me. How are we feeling this evening, my friend?
Handsome. Aw, stop it. Hot sauce. The escalating flirtation between us two. It's going. I'm curious to see where this all ends up. You know, the plot arc, the casters to lovers romance here. But also, battle brewing on the field here so far. Love and war closely interrelated. We got quite the big one. Ephrata stepping up to Southridge. 2, not 1, but 2 undefeated teams in one match.
Yeah, it's Southridge, last year's state champs as well. Ephrata has already had some tough games to get through. I believe they toppled even the likes of Tenino in the preseason, yes, but off to a great start. Both of these teams have recently played the Mavericks as well. Both of these teams, of course, getting a win over the Mavericks. So 2 teams undefeated. Unfortunately, after today, only one will remain so.
That's how sometimes the cookies got to crumble, but it does mean they each get a good experience early in the regular season to face the greatest of adversity that they're going to get up against. So it gives you a lot of good game tape to look at. It gives you a lot of good experience to utilize up against maybe those softer targets, and also some chances to reevaluate your game plan and execution strategies going forward. Lotus is going to be the map. You can see right behind me. Hot sauce. What should we be expecting from this battlefield?
I mean, Lotus is another fun one. It's one of those big 3-site maps that we talked about. Obviously, D'Lo gracious enough to display it behind us, or behind him there for us. But
got you.
Yeah, I mean, we see a lot of action around A. Typically, you typically also have a C anchor site, or someone who's anchoring kind of like a Cypher or a Killjoy over there. But we have seen some changes in the meta here, and honestly, I love it. You know, maybe this is something that we could use that new teleprompter for. We could bring up the map here in the near future and draw on it. I should have thought of that before we got going. But Lotus is a fun map. You've got some revolving doors. You got some beautiful scenery as well, and it's a map that I would say most players are pretty comfortable with at this point.
Speaking of beautiful, we want to give a big shout out to our big and beautiful sponsors. We want to talk about Zotac Gaming. and thank them for supporting Scholastic Esports in Washington State. You can show your appreciation for Zotac Gaming by giving them a shout out on social media. Make sure to join their community on Discord, and don't you dare forget to use that hashtag powered by Zotac or hashtag ZotacUSA when you post.
That's right. Post. Let us know who you think might win today's game. Two undefeated teams, Southridge and Ephrata, about to go head-to-head there as we see the players now in the lobby getting ready for that agent select screen. And a few of these players we're familiar with as well. I know D'Lo and I got to cast some of this action last season as well. So for Southridge, the returning champs looking to remain undefeated. Ephrata, an opportunity to give them a loss very early on into the season here.
The fact that Southridge are starting off on attack, I think, is quite the boon to the team, since oftentimes these three-site map favors the attackers, right? Your defense is spread thin. You've told me time and time again, we're going to say it to the audience time and time again, and Southridge already kind of being the big bad bullies, the fact that they can leverage that pressure early on forces a bit of a strain on Ephrata's neck. I know you've been having some back pain there, my friend Hot Sauce. Ephrata are going to be feeling the exact same thing. Both of y'all got to visit that chiropractor.
Absolutely. You're right. Starting out on the attack side can be a little bit more favorable on these three-site maps. But I think at the same time for Ephrata, if they're able to kind of dissect what Southridge is trying to do, where they're trying to send the majority of these attacks, find, 5, even 6 rounds, a tied half on that first side, then it could be smoother sailing for them as well. But yeah, these first couple rounds are going to be very crucial. We often talk about it, whether it's the pistol round in the first half or the second half. It really helps set the tone and the pace for those first couple rounds. And at the Scholastic level, we've seen a lot of these teams get in economic trouble where they don't save together, they don't eco together, they don't buy together, maybe 2 in this round, 3 in the following round. And it's something that's hurt a lot of teams be able to kind of find that footing and begin to get rounds of their own. So something I'll definitely be keeping my eye on.
I'm keeping an eye on Zera. Zera is, if I do not recall incorrectly, the most lethal member from Southridge's squad, is marked down as an alternate on the roster, but you do not need any alternative when you've got this duelist running by your side. I recall them playing the Yoru prior, but I personally love the high-flying action that a Jet can provide instead, so get looking out for those blade storms.
Hey, we got a Yoru on the other side, so a little bit of the best of both worlds here. Kind of an array of a composition as well. I think we see Deadlock potentially the only mirror matchup here. So I got to say,
Nice.
I really enjoy this when we see these teams kind of mixing up through these rosters. A lot of times falling back toward that comfortability pick. Deadlock can be really good at anchoring down that C site potentially if you need it. It looks like Ephrata is going to tuck Omen this way. They've got Yoru set up here in the background as well. You're going to see him put that teleport out early toward the A site, allowing him to transition from site to site depending on where this Southridge team might be attacking.
At the very least, each member has their own Goth squad member. You got the Omen on one, and of course, you got the Fade on the other, so everyone has got someone to bring along as a +1 to Emo Night, but Trail Mix is going to be feeling rather down in the dumps because they're already down in the grave.
Yeah, unfortunately, stepping out a bit too far. There's a firing squad, all 5 members from Southridge standing there with pistols in hand, so hard to overcome that one. The hot will rain down, but no intel comes in from it. Peak record, able to break it immediately. Nothing for Wingman here as well, but you see Eating Bricks trying to get back across. These blinds from Sky can be very difficult to deal with, and we are going to see a very fast rotation out of Southridge.
Complete dedication there to try to go for B instead, and they do find the Storm, but Slink Swing tries to find the shots, actually manages to get Bricks to eat bullets instead. Alternative meal option for you, and Slink still trying to slink around this side corner. Could try to get the Sky, but now could be a bit of danger. Jake is going to be able to take down Valves, but they will fall soon after.
Lad Stripes back and forth in the kill feed. I miss her now finding Monkey here though, and it's Peak record to answer back. It comes just down to I miss her, who's been spotted by Peak, and it's Ephrata who takes round number 1 away from the returning state champions.
That might not be Zera, but it's still a Yoru dominating here. This time courtesy of Ephrata. That must feel fantastic to already have the pistols rounds where there's no excuses, no big flashy ultimates, no big flashy guns that you can ride or die and hope to pin your excuses on. It all came down to brilliant execution there from Ephrata. Southridge got pinned down in that trap, and despite a very smart rotation to not try to slam their head against a brick wall, just didn't quite work out.
Well, they found enough funds to squeak their way into the round, though. It's going to be a scrappy round for Southridge, as Ephrata will find a buy here as well. They've got Monkey just sticking with the Ghost, though. And again, typically you want to buy together. So Southridge on the run and gun of the Spectres looking to take advantage, and they are stampeding toward the side. Azira finding Sleek Swing first, popping the wall immediately, and Jake now on the outlaw needs big collateral, finding two.
That was so pivotal. Now the odds are even up. Unfortunately, Jake did find themselves put into a chamber themselves. Zera will be able to evade the haunt for now. As Spectre still in hand, just waits for any members to approach. I miss her. Won't be missing Monkey. They're the one who's going to drop next. Decoy comes out to try to peruse through the jet smoke, but instead you got to watch it. You're to the left. Zera managed to take down the real one and drops the clone right after for just desserts.
Fight isn't over.
And that's why it's good to buy as a team there. We see Monkey not having that weapon, maybe not having as much success in that round, and now looking to kind of force in this round. So hopefully they can make something happen. We see a Bucky, a Sheriff, a potential Stinger, maybe even a Classic from Peak. So after a good round one start, hopefully they don't fall into these economic troubles. Southridge, they've got a Bulldog here. They've got a rifle to work with, a few Spectres that are bonusing, and a few that are bought. So still could go either way here in some of these early rounds. We have yet to see a full buy from either squad.
The fact that we still didn't get the round win off because of that amazing collat from Jake, it makes me worried, because if I'm Southridge, I'm not peeking these corners together anymore, ever. Here comes the flash, but Zera, undeterred, gets the shots off and actually puts this guy pretty low. Puts Sleek Swing down to 0. Monkey as well. The petting zoo's been completely cleared out.
Yeah, Monkey caught with utility in hand there. Peak from a distance with the Classic, but Eating Bricks will shift forward. Finds Jake, catches Peak in the reload. It's another 2K, and now Trail Mix will be chopped down from the triple of Eating Bricks. It's a flawless round for Southridge, and the state champion picking up where they left off.
Man, the pistols round was just a bit of a scrap. It was a bit more of a fluke as far as Southridge are concerned. That last round, that flawless, absolutely is a game or a round that reasserts the pecking order from their perspective. They say, you guys think you're hot stuff, huh? Get back in there, buddy. You still got a few more years to cook up before you reach our level.
Gotta cook it up here just a little bit. But Ephrata, I think, has 4 separate Valorant teams. They have a huge interest in these esport extracurricular activities, so you love to see it. I think they've got 3 JV teams and a varsity team, so love the fact that they've got a huge turnout, a big roster to work with, and now trying to make something happen with a Bucky, but Azira dashes in the face. Jake will still find one. That's a big pick, because Azira has kind of been that shining star so far.
Valves make sure to take down Peak record. Won't be peeking nothing except for the gray screen. Monkey manages to grab Yule. That's a big pick as well. Monkey's not really been able to contribute the way you want them so far, but we know how capable they are in the sky. Drops I miss her as well. Missing her not. Finds the 3-piece on top of Valves, and only the Gecko remains.
Line comes out. Eating Bricks gets concussed, excuse me. It was Monkey on a Quadra here.
Beautiful.
So stepping it up big in round 4, and honestly, it was a bit of a scrappy buy for them. The fact that they're able to tie that up here through these first 4 rounds, I think, is huge for them. And now we're going to start seeing some of these full buys come into play. You've got a rifle in the hands of Monkey that was even picked up off the ground previous round, starting to put stacks in the bank. The economy a little bit rougher for Southridge, but they're still able to limp into this round.
Seeker's ready for Monkey, and on the other side, I see some inclement weather coming. Forecast predicts a blade storm from our friend Zera. I think the issue was, you mentioned that dash forward. Very pivotal that the kill came through early, because it meant that Zera could only trade out 1 for 1. You really want to see that Jet at least grabbing 2 bodies before they drop.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Zera has the potential to really frag out. We see it at mid here, and it's cool, calm, and collected. A nice spray to find the headshot on the Monkey, but Monkey applied some good damage. Zera down to 70. With that, they'll begin to shift back toward the A side here.
You also have some really solid damage being applied as well so far. The deadlock, got to make sure you're staying safe as Southridge, despite having the numbers advantage. Can be reversed in just a moment, especially with Jake Grafton keeping the corner defended. So far, Southridge a bit more conservative than we've seen before. It's a split push there, 3 to A, 2 to B.
Now they're going to shift through here, and with that, the Stampede toward B. We've got 2 tucked to ball, but I miss. Going to find the headshot on the Peak record. Slink trying to spray through the smoke, but this is a dangerous spot to be in, especially in a tight little corridor like that. Deadlock dropping the wall, and with that, Southridge in great post-plant position.
Wingman gets taken out there. Means at the very least you're aware of their positioning. Doesn't mean you can do too much about it, is the answer. Ephrata waits around the corner. There comes in the nade. Valves guns him down. Sling Swing will fall, but Valves is quickly answered back, courtesy of Trail Mix. 2-4, but a very low health Deadlock still, and the spike still planted, eating bricks. Make sure that Trail Mix is force-fed some more lead, and it's going to be one more round win to Southridge.
Yeah, Chamber trying to teleport through the wall there so that he doesn't have to break it. Unfortunately, goes into the waiting arms of Zera. 8 into 4 alts on deck here for Southridge. Now, Ephrata's ult economy is not far behind. They've got 2 that have alts and 2 that are only a point away. Yoru just 2 away as well. But these scrappy little buys that have been slightly uneven. We see it here again. Potential rifle with a Judge, a Spectre, a Classic, a Bucky. Really just a smorgasbord of different weapons and not saving together so that they can find that full buy in a following round.
And again, with these ultimates, we've talked about this before. If you have them and you're such a high kill player, why not use them already? And in fact, Zera's gonna listen. A knife for Monkey, but Jake grabs it and Trail combined for 2. Valves comes right back thanks to the res, but can they stay alive with that timer?
Jake has the tour de force out here as well, but it's Zera and Valves to find the next 2. The blades don't quite connect here, and Zera will back off, but Eula has their back, pops the head of Slink, and now Valve with a plant down, and Chamber all alone with the tour de force.
That's unfortunate. Not going to be quite the force you want to reckon with. Southridge can just stay safe around this spot. And of course, if you shoot that one, you do find Zera actually quite the solid target. Take some battle damage though for your troubles. And now with the Classic equipped, got to try to peek the corner, peek into the grave instead. Chained up, flame down. Valves wins it for Southridge.
Few nice shots there from the tour de force. Unfortunately, just didn't have enough rounds in the mag to finish the job. And with the Classic, it gets exponentially tougher here. But Jake and crew, 6-5 kills there for Monkey as well. So certainly doing a great job. These rounds have been very, very close. And I think that has been a big difference maker, is getting this economy in check. I think if we would have seen Ephrata with a full buy in a couple of these rounds, they very well could steal a few of them back. But they're kind of continuously digging this hole at the moment. We see another scout, a guardian, a couple sheriffs here, or marshal, excuse me, along with the 2 sheriffs. So making their job a little bit tougher than it has to be.
Yeah, hesitance to invest on the ultimates as well. 3 came out from Southridge, whereas it was only the Tour de Force from Ephrata. And at the end of the day, you're just not going to be able to match the economy, ults or otherwise, to keep up. Omen certainly couldn't. They're already dead.
Monkey finds the first one. Nice guardian shot here as well. Great for the one-hitter quitters to the dome. Zera tucked in toward the back of the site here, waiting patiently as they begin to shift forward. Slink has the Bucky in hand. Now on the peek from Jake. Finds no one, but it's peek with a sheriff. Zera and Misser find 2, and don't blink, you might miss it.
Ooh, those Seeker shots. Even if the sky goes down, her legacy certainly will be remembered. Unfortunately, the fade might not be put down by Jake. Zera does answer back, and now, once again, only the chamber remains right around the corner, but Jake finds 1. Not going to be enough. Eula might not be a jet, but they've got blades of their own. They finished the job.
Zera and Eula, they say, hey, if we're going to do this, we're doing it together. You love the team decision and the teamwork. Clearly just having some fun out there. They both pull out the knives, charge in. Jake finds 1, gets dangerously close to the second as well. That could be a round that Southridge potentially could have thrown away by going for the knives, but it comes up big. It is fun for them, and now Southridge up by 3.
That's, again, hot sauce about these rounds chained together. Southridge have really not let off the gas for quite some time. It doesn't feel like there's been much respect from Ephrata. You have this Omen who's just not getting their utility off quickly enough to really find their value, and certainly can be the same said for Deadlock, as they are now dead, locked away. Miss her, gets 1 from Monkey, but Zera's the exchange. Not too shabby from Ephrata.
Yeah, I mean, Southridge is just plowing their way in through here, and for Ephrata, they need to use some of this utility to try and slow that momentum down. They've got the weapons to do it in the hands of Peak Record. He finds another Peak shot here, but they need 3 more picks. They've got a couple ults, including the Dimensional Drift. Unfortunately, that one has just been thrown to the wayside.
Crosshair placement sometimes all it takes, and eating bricks is the living proof of it, and Ephrata is the dying proof instead. 6-2. What are you doing if you're Ephrata to ensure that you can come back big?
Again, it's the economy. We haven't seen a full 5-person rifle buy from this squad yet, and you're going to see it again right here. We've got at least 2 rifles, a couple Spectres as well. There's a Sheriff in hand. a little bit of heavy armor, some of the rejuvenative armor as well, but it's just not that full buy that you need to win big rounds. In rounds where we've seen the guns be somewhat equal is where we've seen Ephrata get a couple of these rounds. And so I think, again, they're just making it a little tougher than it needs to be. Yeah, it's tough to save a round. You know you're going to lose it, but that ensures you get that full buy in the following round.
It's a very good call. The fact that the pistols round, where everyone's quite literally on the most equal playing field of all, Ephrata are the ones who take it. When Southridge, though, are being a bit more cohesive, a bit more concerted with their buy-ins, they seem to have everything working in their favor. And same case here. Already one member down. The monkey cannot help you.
Ooh, and Peak is so good with a rifle. I mean, we see these nasty headshots. They're able to take out Zero here as well, who, again, has been the raid boss. They're going to look to pressure anyway, though, and still trying to get on the B side. Ephrata has sent all the rotations this direction, but Southridge doesn't seem to care. Slink has other plans, though, and it's Eula to fall.
Drops their doppelganger, and now they stand as the sole deadlock remaining. The revolving door. Mister's going to charge right on through. It's a regroup attempt here from Southridge, as they now bear the man down. So rotation over to C. Ephrata there to match.
They do match this, but a little bit at a slower pace here. Eating Bricks able to get out here in front.
30 seconds left.
Finds the headshot on the Peak. And now they've got control of the site. We see the rest of these members from Ephrata trying to shift that direction. If they could have just quickened the pace, they might have found Valves.
Wow.
But it's Misser. And now Valves for the second as well. Deadlock all alone, and they need a miracle. But Southridge, you look at the health of the remaining two players, and it is not great.
Trapped in the ruse smoke, Slink Swing's got to try to find their opportune moment to make a mad dash for freedom or potentially to death. Slink Swing blindly fires through the smoke, takes down the creator of it, but Eating Bricks makes sure they will only be dining on the finest. One more round in the pocket of Southridge.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Southridge's additional player there was so low, but you see Deadlock swing out with utility in hand, and it's just tough because you don't have a way to shoot back when you've got that util in hand, and you're kind of exposing yourself there. So, you know, going for a decent play, it was a nice try at a clutch. Unfortunately, it just doesn't go their way, and that's why I talked about this scoreline really not doing this game justice. There has been 3 rounds, I think, at a minimum, that have came down to a one-on-one type situation that just unfortunately hasn't gotten in the way of Ephrata, and it's because they've been stuck with these Spectres at that range there as well. It's just the weaponry for Southridge has been superior at the moment.
Dizzy comes out, the mosh pit as well. We're throwing elbows here. It's not a Metallica concert, it's a Valorant game instead. Sends out the hounds, but Monkey's the one who's getting hounded down. Val's gonna make the quick resurrection, but might not even be necessary. Miss and Zera combined for 2.
Right there.
You see the plant go down here from Eating Brick. Spray from Zero to find another Eula, and another flawless round here for Southridge. They might have had a couple early round jitters, but it has been all Southridge here now, 6 rounds in a row for them.
You can say, man, Valve, why'd you use the res? I like it. Again, we're sitting here with 3 ultimates from Ephrata, and these are ultimates that I feel like could have changed one of these rounds, and that one round that gets changed, it leads to economy in your favor, and suddenly the entire balance of this series is shifted. I just feel like Ephrata, they're playing like they're expecting to lose, so they're playing ultra conservatively. It's again that idea of you wait for your perfect moment, and it's never going to come. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, I agree. I always like to see those ults come out the round that you get them, or if not a minimum, the following round after, unless maybe you're like a Sage and you just don't have somebody to res. But for the most part, you want to give yourself an opportunity to get multiple ultimates in a half here. But quick pressure from Zero and crew again onto the seaside. Zero finding Peak is huge. It opens up the site completely. They got to be careful of waterfall. There's a wall in the way. The cocoon comes out, and there might not be no butterfly at the end of this one.
Oh, apologies, Trail Mix, but you make for an awfully beautiful butterfly in hell. Eating Brick's going to be able to take down one as well. Deadlock's the sole survivor, but if Southridge got much to say about it, not for long.
Shots from the Spectre. Sling tries to pull out a cocoon of his own. He gets Zero for a moment, but the teammate's right there to bust the cocoon. Zero will stand tall. 9-2 with one more round in the half. And I mean, despite those first 4 rounds that were very close, it has been all the previous state champs. And now they've got an Odin, an Op, 2 Odins maybe here potentially, and a couple rifles on the board. This might be a very dangerous round.
Double All-Father situation here. This is going to be rough. Best watch out. Any trickster gods that lie in wait. The Norse granddaddy's about to punish you some. You do also have that Op, which is just scary to consider, but a Blade Storm even more so, right through the smoke. Not gonna be able to find any marks though. Uncharacteristic there from Zira.
Hey, they're saying, hey, we're human too. Every once in a blue moon, we get a miss as well. And it's good to see the human as well, because I was starting to wonder. They consistently hit so many shots. Eula looking for an opportunity here as well. Slink with utility in hand has to be careful. Would haunted them previously. Jake to step out of the Phantom will find the headshot on the Valves.
What great crosshair placement, and what great evasive play as well from Eula. As soon as I say it, though, they're going to get put down. Eating Bricks answers back, and Slink Swing makes sure that one more joins the count. Only the Gecko stands alive. Can Ephrata finally find a round?
Yes, the answer is yes. Slink will pick up the Odin from a fallen opponent, and with that, put down the final body of Southridge. It's 9-3. Can they call upon the infamous 9-3 curse here for Ephrata? It's going to start with the pistol round, and maybe not a must-win round, but it's certainly going to make that job much more feasible.
Well, Hot Sauce, you always talk about the fact that you win the pistols round, you're very liable to win the next, and that's just too big of a deficit for Ephrata if you are looking at it from their mental perspective as well as just what the scoreboard says. You really are hoping they can repeat history, especially considering they're on attack, which does favor the bold.
Hey, they won that first pistol round. It was unfortunate. It was the second round where they didn't quite full buy together as a team, and it came back to haunt them. But once they got weapons in the fourth, again, they were able to battle back. So I think it's about keeping that economy in check. But unfortunately, you're right. When you're down 9-3, you don't have many opportunities to get it in check. And Trail makes out mid, the first to follow. They're going to catch Util or Eula with knife in hand, excuse me. And they do get a pick back now on a 4v4.
Looking for you too as well, Valve. Let's be careful opening up the revolving door. The Hound comes on out, but instantly gets put down by the Vet. Now it's Valve trying to find a peek through the revolving door, but doesn't want to quite push the aggression too much. Slink Swing through the smoke, looking for Sky in the back line. Eating Bricks already took them down. The sky's been darkened, the sun's been blackened, and Jake Rafton takes down Fade.
They get the plant down. Unfortunately, Zira is waiting there with the Sheriff to find the first, and now Jake has to come up with a big clutch here at 3v1. He can hear them breaking the wall. He tries to swing, but a Zira, a two-tap to the dome will send them home. Eating Bricks with the defusal. The pistol round doesn't go the way of Ephrata, and now Southridge looking to plead a good case to close this one out, just 2 away from match point.
And again, you consider how well they do with the lead, how well they do with the head of steam and momentum in general. Again, we're going to keep saying it, but it's so true. Ephrata just feels like they're on the cusp of something big. Jake Grafton got a big gun in pocket, maybe with the sniper rifle. We've seen great things come out from them before, but I need to see those kills from ahead instead of just trying to play catch-up.
Yeah, that's the tough thing, is because now you kind of have to start to force into some of these buys. You've got to hope that some magic can happen here, and it just puts yourself at a disadvantage. But hey, we say it all the time at the risk of sounding like a broken record. It's those pressures, those tough pressures that create these diamonds. But Valve is on fire from the B site. That's the second time they've peeked mid and come up with a big early frag.
Oh no, the Marshal might need to request some paid leave because they're just not feeling like they're hitting the shots they needed to, except now they are. Jake finds 2, but again, you were doing it from behind. It was a lone stand, the Alamo. Unfortunately, we know how that story ended.
Yeah, and maybe some of the similar issues here. Peak, though, we'll be able to buy a Vandal here. We see a couple Guardians coming into play, but again, it's a little bit lackluster on the armor and the weapons. We've got a Stinger, we've got a Spectre, not quite that full set of rifles, and so it is going to be a bit of an uphill battle, but hopefully Ephrata has come prepared.
Ultimates in play are 0, but maybe we could see something crop up if the Chamber manages to get 3 streak put together. Paranoid comes through as well as the smoke, and also some decent poke applied to Southridge. Unfortunately, you also saw Peak eat quite a good amount of it, and that's one of your prime offensive linchpins.
No surprises.
Going 5v5, a little bit of a slower round than we're used to so far as they try to make their way onto the C side, and Jake is already pressured up here. Has the spike in hand as well. Spots one, shots ring out, but now Zira on the flank has
wow,
and that's an easy tap to the dome. Great trigger discipline, pressuring forward, but it's Peak trailing Monkey to find a 3-piece.
All that time the Jets spent stalking their prey, Ephrata managed to piece apart the rest of Southridge quite easily. With no ultimates available, it's going to be quite rough, especially if you're concussed, especially if you're dead. Trail Mix is the answer back. Now it's a 1v3, not in Valve's favor.
And we'll go down. Ephrata looking to hang on for a little while longer here, Clove. Dancing with disaster momentarily. Time ticking away, though, and Clove is either going to have to quicken the pace or maybe figure out if they want to save that weapon or not.
There's a lot you can do around the corner if you are this Ephrata team with pressure. You have the flashes from the sky. You have the Yoru clone to bait out options, especially for Valve, who you got to imagine is very fritzy on the trigger finger. Peak Record gets an up-close and personal demonstration. Jake's forced to TP back. They did not feel confident with the duel.
Ooh, and Jake will find it with a Guardian here. They slowly but surely begin to battle back, and interesting enough, I mean, they lose that pistol round, the one to follow, but they haven't let them really shake them just yet. That mental fortitude showing here as they continue to find some buys, even though they might not always be the best of buys. We do have 4 rifles in this one. The potential Spectre in the hands of Slink. Though Slink's going to come out with a rifle and rechargeable armor here. So another full buy round for Ephrata. Not quite the same for Southridge. We'll see if they can take advantage of this.
You know what also is a bit rough? I'm catching a whiff of an ultimate on the front lines. It's going to be from that Clove. You can play a bit more risky now with the res, and I know Valve's very willing to do so. Instantly takes down 2, make it 3. I'm not going to need that res. You can use it, though.
My, oh my, Valves, they haven't
We're
really
back.
had an answer. We see the kill at mid. It will pop the ult, and now the blind as well. Monkey, Valves, and Monkey again. It's Plaid Stripes, but the damage is done. It's a quadra for Valves.
Eating bricks does not need to do any work. Says, I'm full. You take the rest, I miss her. Sweep of the leftovers. Match point from Southridge. And I'm not going to lie, dude. It's exactly what we were mentioning. The fact that the Valve has that ultimate, you can just instantly come back into play, allows you to play it so much more recklessly to devastating effect.
Yeah, I mean, she's basically a closet duelist, especially when that ult is up. And so it's good to see Valve using that character, that agent rather, to their full potential here. Coming up huge again at mid, putting Southridge up to match point here, and they give themselves 8 additional opportunities to close it out. Ephrata, a very scrappy buy for them, and at risk of catching their first L on the season. Misser and Eating Bricks, fine too, but Slink on the Bucky gets one.
At the very least, takes down Valve, but without the ultimate, they did not have the value they did prior. And even as a Clove, you go down, the Ruse Smoke is still available to be placed. So much utility at the hands of your Southridge. Eating Bricks picks up a bit of their own, gets the Vandal, and instantly drops the puppy.
Flash here as well. Eating Bricks completely blind, and it's Monkey to find the pick. They're trying to battle back. Slink will find Eula as well, and now it's a 3v2. They've turned the round around, but they've got to be able to close it out.
And one of them is Zira, still waiting. I miss her in the wings. Does trade out one. If there's one player you want, though, it's this fancy footwork, knife-twirling psycho son of a gun. Zira with the rifle.
Yeah, if there's one person you want to clutch, it would be Zira.
One down.
They find Monkey, and now they just need one more, but Slink, the quadra kill of their own, and Ephrata continues to hang on.
What a great ultimate by Slink. We didn't get to see who was the victim of the cocoon, but nonetheless, wrapping those silken threads around a target and never letting them go. The eternal embrace of death. Beautiful work. Unfortunate that Zero was turning corner there with the Cloudburst in hand. You sometimes get caught with utility in hand, sometimes it's a rifle, and sometimes you catch a bullet as a consequence.
Catching bullets out here, but that's the dangerous thing. Ephrata, we talked about it. They need a bunch of rounds in a row, now up to 7 in a row. Southridge just needs 1, and really they could just eco together, but now we're seeing them kind of force in 2 players with Sheriffs as well, and it might just be that open door for Ephrata that they need to work back into it.
Dimensional Drift solely for utility. Seekers come out as well. We're really investing quite a bit, but Zera and Valve popping the pistols. The Sheriffs will sing, and it's going to be the death chorus of 4 members. Only the chamber remains.
And unfortunately, has been spotted. They're closing in quickly. Jake, he can sense it. Zero, the one tap, and it's over just like that. 13-5. Southridge will remain undefeated as they go to 3-0, Ephrata to 2-1, but still a solid start to their season and a good fight against the returning state champions.
And again, you consider the fact that Ephrata actually made some pretty solid headway in those last few rounds, and arguably, I think, should have had a few more beneath their belt when they were playing on defense. This was a really solid series from them, and you can absolutely imagine a timeline in a future time where they match up against each other in the regular season or playoffs, where Ephrata not only does better, but comes away with the victory.
Yeah, 10 first bloods. I had to write that one down on here. 10 first bloods for Zera is absolutely insane. 6 plants for the Clove, both of them dropping 20 bombs as well, and Southridge just playing near flawless here today. Ephrata, again, they put up a good fight, and in rounds where they had a full set of weapons, a full set of rifles, they fared much better. I think they kind of battled themselves a little bit when it came to the economy.
I really like the fact that we had just better use of our ultimates. We recognize value utility. I know they got nerfs. I know in general abilities got nerfs. However, you still recognize that those things are gosh darn useful. And you realize when you have this Clove who's got ultimate, you can be the entry fragger. Those blade storms were always used rather quickly, even if not to the best of effect. They're still trying. You got to make sure that whether it's the cash in pocket or the ultimates in your back pocket as well, you're using everything at your disposal.
Another short but sweet day here for WSSEA. And honestly, I want to give a big shout out to LANFest as well, because this broadcast is part of LANFest's Scholastic Esports program. It's a program that supports this league and many others. And since launching, LANFest has delivered over 300 broadcasts to Scholastic leagues in both Washington State and Indiana. We provide these broadcasts free of charge to the leagues, the schools, and the teams that we cover. And your generous donations make all of this possible. For every $200 raised, it covers the operating costs for one entire regular season broadcast. So if you appreciate your work and you're able to donate, please scan that QR code today and donate today.
Open your hearts, potentially, if you like what we do here. Maybe even open your pocketbooks as well, or else we're going to send Zera after you. Best be careful. No, we can't do that. Nonetheless, that is, like you said, Hot. Unfortunately, all the action we're going to have for you here today. Thank you very much for watching WSSEA Valorant Week 3 of the High School Series. I've been D-Lo. Joined here in the booth, my friend Hot Sauce. We've had our almighty eyes in the sky, Connie and Taylor. Please thank our production for all they do. We could not yell at games without them. Big thanks to our sponsors, Zotac Gaming, as well as LANFest. And last, but certainly not least, thank you, loyal, obedient viewer, for your time. We hope you've enjoyed this series just as much as we have. A big congratulations to our friends on Southridge, and until next time, good games and good night.